Yes, what a start to this all-important winter run. Chelsea 3, Aston Villa 0. Yes! All right, everyone, welcome back to the American Blues Podcast. Chelsea 3, Aston Villa 0. What an incredible win. I think by far best game of the season, just from top to bottom. Every player was amazing. Attack amazing, midfield amazing, defense best I've seen this whole season. But before we get started, let's talk about Heidenheim. I didn't make a video because it was Thanksgiving and I had to work that day, so I spent the time with family when I had some time at home, got to enjoy the game a little bit, and then I went to work. So didn't really feel like making a video, but I was very much looking forward to this one. This was a big one. This starts off our incredible December, January run of all winnable games, which I think by the end of January, like I said, if we can get 3 points from every game from now until then, I don't think we're just in a top 4 race. I think we are legitimately in a title race. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about Chelsea 3, Aston Villa 0. Number one, huge praise, Enzo Maresca. It seems like every game against every type of opposition, he has a plan, and it's a little bit different. It's enough to throw the opposition off, keeps them guessing. They have no clue which starting 11 we're going to go with, what formation we're going to go with, how we're going to play. And this is another thing. This is a formation we haven't really used at all this whole season, and I was shocked. I did not expect to see a team like this against a side like Aston Villa, who are quick on the break, who, they play good football. They're a good team, but we absolutely destroyed them today. And biggest surprise was, starting Jackson, Sancho, Neto, Enzo, Palmer, all in attack. Enzo Maresca has said multiple times this season, we can start all these attackers, but then who's going to defend? Who's going to defend? And we have our answer. We have Cucurella at left back, probably the best left back in the league. We have Colwell, one of the best defenders in the league. And then we have Moises Caicedo. My goodness, this guy, you know what? We said, hey, you are going to cover all of right side of defensive midfield and all of right back today, just on your own. And he did it incredible. Man, what a big shout out to Moises Caicedo. I think he's probably been one of our most consistent and important players. I think he's the first player on the team sheet besides Cole Palmer. But, Palmer, as you can tell, the last 6 games has had a little bit of decrease in his output. He's been marked out of games at certain points. He can still affect games because he's that good, but he hasn't been the main person scoring or assisting. But man, no matter what team we play, Moises Caicedo, we must have him because he is the absolute engine in our midfield. He protects our back line. Today, he was part of the back line, and then he can also do progressive pass forward. He's so good at tackling, interceptions, at reading the game, everything. Man, this guy can do absolutely everything. And I wanted to shout him out first. Remember at the beginning of last season when he first joined, his tackles always seemed a little bit off. He was always on the wrong side of the player, tackling into their legs, tackling from behind, constantly getting cards, constantly getting fouls. He doesn't really do that anymore. Even the one tackle he had today where he was flying in and he got called for a foul, that was not a foul. He got the ball first and then the other guy fell over it. Yeah, but what an absolute beast of a player. I would say right now, easily alongside Palmer, probably our most important player this season. And I would say maybe even Caicedo edges out Palmer a little bit. He just doesn't get as much praise since he's not the one assisting or scoring most of the time. And then another big shout out is the Cucurella. Oh my goodness. I am so happy that the team kept him instead of loaning him to Man United this season. What an absolute disaster that would have been with Luke Shaw falling downhill, being injured most of the season. If they had Cucurella, man, Ten Hag might not even have been sacked. That's real. He probably still would have. But Cucurella, absolutely incredible. So much energy and left back. Nobody got past him today. Not a single Aston Villa player beat him. Whenever they had a quick break, he was sprinting back into defense. He can run forward. He can fly in with tackles. And what I love most about him is just his energy and passion. when Palmer scored that last goal, Cucurella was the one celebrating like crazy. I feel like every team needs that one player who's just an absolute menace and a bulldog and will just come flying into you no matter what and just be able to run miles on end. And he's that player. He's more of that player for us than even Gallagher was the last couple of seasons. And Gallagher's got energy. So, yeah, fantastic Cucurella. What a big time player. Just so impressive after his horrendous first season with the club, after so many people said he wasn't worth the money. You know what? Right now, yeah, I think he's worth every single penny that we paid for him because there's just no other left back in the league like him. Let's go through the goals real quick. First goal, it was all Cucurella getting, I think it was either a corner or a free kick. I forgot which one, but he was the first one back on the ball, won the ball off the defender. Ball fell to Sancho, who gave it back to Cucurella. Cucurella put in a really great cross. And Jackson, what a finish, man. First goal of the game, early in the game, super important. He had one player marking him close. He had another defender to beat. The ball was behind him to make that kind of goal near post to beat, I think, one of the best goalies in the entire league in Martinez. Amazing finish. What an important goal. And overall, I thought Jackson was great. The way he can run back into midfield for link up, the way he runs down the channels, the pressure that he puts on defenders. He's so hard to track. He's so hard to mark. You never really know. Are you supposed to follow him? Are you supposed to get out of position? Are you supposed to pass him off? Like, is he going to run behind? Like, he does everything that we want from a striker for this team, he does. And I would say the only thing that he's been lacking is being clinical. And this season, he's been way more clinical. He has more goals than Isak, more than Havertz. I think he's probably second in the league in terms of strikers and goals, apart from Watkins and Haaland, who's, even though he's having an offseason, is still ridiculous. But yeah, Nicholas Jackson, props to you. So much improvement this season. He's just silently becoming better and better and better and just shutting up all the critics, even me. And I've been very critical of him in the past. Now, I will say there's still room for improvement. He had two more really good look at goals. He had one on the right side where he blasted over the bar, and then even better on the left side where he was one-on-one with the keeper, just had slightly too heavy of that last touch. Like, if he can clean up those little parts of his game, man, I think we got an absolute world-class striker on our hands. And yeah, and I no longer am in doubt that he's going to reach those levels. I think it's just a matter of time. As long as we give him the game time, give him the support, I think Jackson is way up there. Now, another big shout out, Enzo Fernandez. I think there's a really funny joke going around is that ever since he got a divorce, he has been on absolute fire. 4 games, 7 goals and assists. Second goal in the world that he scored for us. And they're important goals too. Aston Villa, like I said, I was not comfortable with being 1-0 down or 1-0 ahead, but being 2-0 ahead, I was starting to get pretty comfortable. And this goal was all Enzo and Palmer. Enzo got the ball, spread it out wide. Palmer got it back and then saw Enzo, made a really pinpoint cross. It was coming at speed too. Enzo, incredible first touch, took it out of the air and then volleyed with his right foot into the corner. No chance for the goalie. Amazing goal. I feel like whatever Maresca has done these past couple games where he's really taken the pressure off of Enzo in terms of tracking back, it looks like his weaknesses are being covered by other people on the team. He's so energetic. He looks way more athletic than he's been in a long time. He's pressing well. He's even running back well. He's making tackles well. And of course, he's finally shooting. He's not just trying to curl the ball into the corner every single time. He's just doing what I've always wanted him to do, which is just shoot. Just shoot with power. And then you can see the effect that he can have on the team. He wore the captain's armband. He was absolutely crucial on that second goal. Great finish. Couldn't be proud of him. And then, of course, who else? Cole Palmer. Again, everyone said he's been quiet. He's been marked out of the game. Is he really world class? Is he going to live up to last season? I don't think he gives a shit what we think about him. I think his post-match interview was perfect. He said last season he felt a lot of pressure on being the guy to make the goals, make the assists. This season he's like, I don't feel pressure. I don't care if I don't play well or affect the game during a few games. I know when I can come in. He's just playing with so much freedom. Got the assist for the Enzo goal. And that third goal, man, I thought the play had broken down when he didn't take the free kick. I was expecting another ridiculous free kick into the corner. But no, he decided to let's make it a little bit tougher. Let's pass it out wide. Madueke had to run it in, spotted Palmer. And then the way he just created that extra yard of space, used the defender's shield, and just curled it into the top corner. Amazing. And you know what? What I love doing is on really, really good goals, I like to rewatch it and see all the other players' reactions. And I just love seeing it. Madueke went nuts. Colwell went nuts. Cucurella went absolutely nuts. I love Lavia's reaction. He just turned around and went, oh, too good. Yeah, everyone knew how good that goal was. And you know, if Cole Palmer is proud of that goal, you know it's something special. And again, what a special player we have. And I think it's foolish for anyone to think that he's not world class, that he can be marked out of the game. You know, clearly we are playing like a team if when we have this many attackers on the field, when we have Neto, when we have either João Felix or Enzo, it doesn't matter. It just means that you can't just set one or two players on Cole Palmer and think that we're done, because then you leave space for all of our other attackers. And then in turn, that gives Palmer space to do what he does best, which is to affect the game, to make key passes, to make assists, and of course, to score ridiculous goals. Absolutely amazing. Second player in Chelsea history, or second fastest player in Chelsea history to reach 30 goals, just behind Hasselbank, who's a striker. Like, imagine all the incredible strikers and midfielders we had, and he's above all of them except for Hasselbank. Unbelievable stats. You know, I have no doubt he'll continue to perform at this level for years to come. And I like that Maresca has figured out a way where he can't be marked out of the game, because we have so many other players that can complement him, and that's just all we needed. Another big shout out I have, which is a big decision, is Madueke dropped this game for Pedro Neto, who I think has really deserved and earned that spot on the right wing. I think he has some of the best crossing on our entire team. His pace on counterattacks is absolutely insane. There was one ball to him today where I didn't think he was going to get it before he went out of bounds, but of course, somehow he gets it. And yeah, you cannot replace raw speed. You can't defend against raw speed. And when you mix that with Pedro's like game intelligence and his crossing ability, crazy. Like some of his in-swinging left-footed crosses, I've been waiting to see that for years. You know, that's something that I thought Ziyech would provide us when we got him. But man, Ziyech just never had that confidence or that consistency or that athleticism. And Pedro Neto does. My only thing is, like, he does have an injury record, but we have been managing him fantastically this season. And I think he and Madueke have got that right wing down so well. They complement each other really well. If one's playing well, they start, and then that gives the other one a chance to kind of rest, not get injured. And then, you know, when they come on, they're super motivated to perform too. So I think it's only a good thing that we have two very, very good players on that right wing. Another big shout out is our press. Our press today with those heavily attack-minded players was incredible. Aston Villa had no clue what to do. They were under pressure again and again and again, especially in that first half. We made one of the best goalies in the entire league, and Martinez looked nervous. There was one moment where he passed the ball directly to Jackson. I don't think Jackson even expected it. Otherwise, he would have controlled it better and easily scored. It just happened to bounce off his foot and straight back into Martinez's hands. Got extremely lucky there. Martinez got injured. He was beaten on the near post. Like, they were nervous. Their entire defense had no idea how to play out of our press. And they only had one game plan, which is just try to hit it long to Ollie Watkins in hope that he could score on the counter. And that didn't work. So, yeah, incredible game plan, incredible game management. This is all down to Maresca. Whatever we're doing in training is clearly showing on the pitch. And yeah, it feels so good having a manager that knows what he's doing. And you can clearly tell the players are enjoying themselves. They know the plan. They know how to execute. And if the starting team doesn't do well, then we have Nkuku, João Felix. What a ridiculous pair of players to bring on at the end of the game where we're already dominating. The game was done. And we still have the ability to bring those two players on. And they each almost scored too. Oh, unbelievable. And then, of course, big shout out, clean sheet at home. Robert Sanchez not making me nervous, having a really important save against, Ollie Watkins in the first half where he did manage to squeeze through. Sanchez came out, made himself big, blocked it. He had one incredible flying header when he ran out of the box, headed the ball, and it was actually extremely accurate and fell right into a Chelsea player's foot. I was like, yeah, hey, if you can make clearances like that and be like this in games and be strong in the air and just not make me nervous, then sure, then keep starting. Keep starting. I know a lot of people, including myself, have wanted to see Jorgensen get a chance in the Premier League games. But if Sanchez keeps performing like this, then there's really no reason to replace him at the moment. Now, I would say the only negative is Fofana being injured. I feel like he has been so good the last few games. And you can see when we are in possession and we are vulnerable on the break, because if we're going to play this aggressive, there's just no way we're not going to be a little bit more vulnerable on the break. You can see just how much he and Colwell's athleticism in terms of running back, in terms of being able to have important blocks, interceptions, everything. Like Fofana is really growing in the game. I feel like he and Colwell are really building a genuine defensive partnership. And it just sucks to see him get probably look like a hamstring injury. So he's out during the next 2 months or so during such an important period. But you know what? This just means that either Tosin, Barisho, Disasi, one of those three has to step up. So I'm counting on you guys. You guys better step up and join the rest of the team, because I think this was an absolute 10 out of 10 performance. You could say, yeah, we gave away some chances. Aston Villa had chances, but there's rarely going to be a game in the Premier League with how good every other team is where we don't give up some chances. The important thing for me is that when we do give up those chances, that we defend well, we cover each other, we run back, we track runs. And as long as we do that, then we keep the goals to a minimum. And I think that's as much as you can hope for. I'd rather see us press well with a very attack-minded team like today, where we are super aggressive, where we just constantly pile on pressure on the other team and give away a few chances on the counter where we have to go back and defend, than the other way around of just only focusing on defense and trying to counter ourselves. This is far more enjoyable to watch. I think the players naturally like this more. And as long as our goalie steps up and our defense steps up, I think, yeah, let it continue. Let it continue. Now, next game is Southampton. Fully expect to win that one. That's a must-win midweek. And then another huge game, Tottenham away. If we can put Tottenham to the sword, which I absolutely believe we can, that's the one thing Tottenham will give you, which is they will give you space and they will always give you chance after chance after chance. And we basically just have to play this game of outscoring them, which I fully think we will, because we defend better than them and our midfield is far better than them. So cannot wait for those two games. See you guys after the next one. Peace.